Bonjour Year 7. We're doing the second lesson on siblings. So that question, as-tu des frères et sœurs? Do you have any brothers and sisters? There are 8 different words or phrases in French on the left-hand side of the screen, and they match to 8 different English words or phrases. You need to match up the French to the English so that we can revise what you did last lesson. You can do this in your books just by writing the numbers and the letters that match up. I will go through the answers in just a moment, so if you could pause here and then do these, that would be great. All right then, let's go through these answers. So we've got j'ai un frère is I have one brother. J'ai is I have, un frère, one brother. Next one, j'ai 4 frères. I've got 4 brothers, or I have 4 brothers. That's 2D. Mes parents, my parents. J'ai une sœur. I have one sister. Je n'ai pas de sœurs et frères. I don't have any brothers and sisters. Actually, the French version there is sœurs et frères, which is sisters and brothers, but it's fine to use them in either order. Ma sœur, my sister. Mon grand-père, my grandfather. Mon cousin, my cousin. There is a table on this screen and it has got 3 headings. They are mon, ma and mes. Now these should be familiar from when you did the first part of the family topic. These are the 3 different ways to say my in French. And to work out when to use them, you need to know the gender of the word. So you need to know whether your word that you're saying is my is masculine, feminine or plural. So mon is the masculine word for my, and so that would be if you were talking about, say, a brother, a dad, an uncle, and so on. Ma is feminine, so that's if you're talking about a mum or a sister or a grandmother. And mes is the plural one, and plural just means more than one. So if you're talking about parents or sisters or brothers, okay, they can be a mixture of genders there. So those are our 3 different words for my. There are some family member words in French underneath. Can you put them into the correct columns? You can do this in your book by just doing some really quick columns on your page, and then you can either write the words or into the columns, or you can write the letters. Either is fine. If we do the first one together, then you can pause it then, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, so that first one we've got is maman or mère, okay? And if you remember back to the family topic, that is mum or mother, and so that's a feminine word, and that's going to go into the ma column. All right, so that's how we do it. Have a go at the next ones, and if you pause this, then I will go through the answers in a few moments. All right then, let's go through the next ones. So papa or père is masculine, so that needs to go into mon. Parents, parents, there's more than one, it's plural, so it's mes parents. Sœur, sister, that's also feminine, so to say my sister, it would be ma sœur. Frère is masculine. It means brother, so my brother is mon frère. Oncle is also masculine, it's uncle, so mon oncle. And the next one is plural as well, okay. After that, we've already had the word sœur, okay. There's no difference in how you say this, sœur as H there, but there is an S on the end. So we don't pronounce it, but it's still there, and that means sisters, plural. So that needs to go into mes as well. And finally, I is also feminine. Okay, excellent. Let's move on. So, as-tu des frères et sœurs? Do you have any brothers and sisters? We've looked at how you'd answer that question, just generally. So you could say, I have a brother, or I have a sister, or I don't have any brothers and sisters, and so on. To give a bit more detail about them though, there is an extra word that we can use here. Okay, so let's have a look at this one then. J'ai un frère, I have one brother. Mon frère s'appelle Marc. My brother is called Mark. So we're bringing together here the work from family members when we were doing my mum, my brother and so on, and also answering the question, do you have any siblings? And we're adding in that one extra word there, s'appelle, to mean is called. And just in doing that, we can describe our families in a bit more detail. Another example, my mum is called Sue. Ma mère s'appelle Sue. So ma mère is my mother, which we've seen already. S'appelle is that extra new word we're learning here, which is called, and then the name. So is called in French is s'appelle, and that might look familiar to you. We've actually used this verb before to talk about ourselves when we've been saying right at the start of the year, you learned how to say what your name was. So then you would say je m'appelle. So s'appelle is the same verb, it's just in a different version because it's talking about other people. So instead of having the M with the apostrophe there, it has an S with the apostrophe there. Comment dit-on? Let's see, how do we say my dad is called Pierre? Can you write this down, please? You can either write it in your books or you can write it on a scrap bit of paper. Okay, the answer, mon père s'appelle Pierre. So we've got mon père, my dad, s'appelle, it means is called, and then Pierre, which is the name. Comment dit-on? My sister is called Eva. I'll pause it, write it down in French, and then check your answer. Ma sœur s'appelle Eva. And the next one. My uncle is called Simon. Pause it, write it down, and then I'll go through the answer. Mon oncle s'appelle Simon. My mum is called Sophie. Pause it, write down the French, and then check your answer. Ma mère s'appelle Sophie. Now let's do the first task in your booklet. It's on page 32. You need to look at the family tree there and read the information underneath. The information underneath is talking all about that family tree. You need to read it and then fill in the different names for the family members on that family tree. There are a couple of words here that I'm going to go through first of all, and then when I tell you to, then you can pause it and have a go at the work, and then I'll go through the answers afterwards. So the first word that you've seen before but it has a slightly different meaning is grande. Okay, so grande can mean a few things. It can mean big or tall, or it can even mean great, as in Grande Bretagne. Okay, you'll sometimes see it with an E on the end, and you'll sometimes see it without an E, and you will also at times see it with an ES or just an S. Okay, in this case, it means big. Okay, j'ai une grande famille. I have a big family. The next word that you won't have seen before is avec. Avec means with. And then we have qui. Next to it, we've got s'appelle, which we've just seen. So that means is called. So qui is who. Qui s'appelle is who is called. And another word that you may or may not have seen around your classroom is aussi, which is also. So those four words are on the left-hand side for you there. Just so when you're reading through, you can just quickly look back and check what those words are. So we'll do the first one together, and then I'd like you to pause this, carry on with the task, and then check back with your answers once you've completed it. The first person we can see on that family tree is the stepfather. So we need to look for the word for stepfather in the text. And it's there if you look, we've got beau-père, okay? And it says after that, qui s'appelle, and then a name, John. And we know qui means who, s'appelle is called, and then John. So that means that this person's stepfather is called John. So you'll need to fill in John on your booklet there. Okay, pause this now, try the rest of them, and then come back for your answers. Let's run through the answers then. The next one, we can see that the mother has been filled in. We've got her name, we've got the father's name. We need the stepmother's name. So let's find the word for stepmother in this text here. Okay, and it's there. Belle-mère, qui s'appelle Linda, who is called Linda. So the name there is Linda. The next one is the word for us. Well, we need to know the name for the sister. Okay, so it does mention j'ai un frère et une sœur. I've got one brother and one sister. If we look down a bit from that, then it says ma sœur s'appelle Laura. So Laura is the name there. And we need to go back a little bit to find the name for the brother. It says mon frère s'appelle, and then we've got the name there as well. Okay. And for a half brother, un demi-frère, we need to find that in the text, and it's Neil. And finally, our half sister, demi-sœur, and that's Jenny. If you look there, just underneath where it says demi-sœur qui s'appelle, and Jenny. And that's that task done. If you could tick your answers if they're correct, and if they're not correct, just check you understand the text and the section that you got that information from, and then correct your answers, and we'll move on. So we've looked at how to say somebody is called, but if you're talking about more than one person in English, if we were talking about, say, for example, our parents, we would need to say my parents are called. So not is called, but are called. Let's look at how we say that in French. Mes parents s'appellent Sue et Max. Now you won't have heard any difference between s'appelle meaning is called and s'appelle meaning are called when I've said it. But if you look there, you can see that there is an extra NT on the word s'appelle there. We don't say it, but it's really important when you write it that you include it if you're talking about more than one person. So if you want to say are called instead of is called, you'll need to add that NT as well. And we say it's exactly the same. We'd say s'appelle. So are called is s'appelle. And once again, we don't say any difference there, but there is an extra NT on the end there to make it plural. Comment dit-on? Let's practice. Let's try and do some quick sentences. Can you do these either in your books or on some scrap paper, please? Firstly, we've got my parents are called Fred and Jan. If you pause it, write it, and then check your answer. Mes parents s'appellent Fred et Jean. Okay, so we've got the extra NT there because we're talking about my parents. So it needs to be are called, not is called. Next one. My brothers are called Ron and Bill. That's a bit Harry Potterish, isn't it? Pause here, write the answer, and then check back here. Answer then. Mes frères, and don't forget you need the S on the end there. Mes frères, it's not just my brother, my one brother, it needs to be plural. So mes frères s'appellent Ron et Bill. My sisters are called Lucy and Olivia. Write it down in French, then check your answer. Mes sœurs s'appellent Lucy et Olivia. So don't forget, we need that NT on the end because we're talking about more than one person. We're giving more than one person's name. And also make sure you've got the S on the end of sœur. We don't say it, so you won't hear it, but it needs to be written down. Next task then in your booklets, once again on page 32, there are some different people and they are holding up what looks like cards about their family. You need to look at the pictures that you've been given and fill in the gaps. Each gap represents one letter. The first one has been done for you, so you need to have a go at 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'll go through 2 and then I'd like you to try the rest. And so you'll pause the video and then check your answers again. Okay, so question 2 then. Bonjour, je m'appelle Félix, j'ai un something. And it says underneath, il s'appelle, which means he is called, and then a blank space. So j'ai un, and then the letter F, that can only be brother. So j'ai un frère. So those are the 4 letters you need to write in. Remember the accent on the first E. And then il s'appelle, he is called, and then we've got the name there as well. So pause it now, try the rest, and then check your answers. Okay, numéro 3, question 3. It says, Salut, je m'appelle Stéphanie, j'ai 2 sœurs, is the answer. Elles s'appellent Sophie et Alice. Okay, so elle means they, the girl version of they, which we'll be getting to later on in the year. Question 4. Bonjour, je m'appelle Oliver. J'ai 3 something. Okay, that needs to be an RE there to make it frères. So I have 3 brothers. That needs to go in the next gap. And then we need to put their names into the correct order here. So we've got Paul, Pierre, and Philippe. Question 5. The spaces there need to be filled by une and sœur. And even though the O and the E are usually joined together, for these you can just use them as separate letters so that they fit. And the last one, add the name in there, which is Susie. And question 6, we need to add in frère. So j'ai un frère, I have 1 brother. And from the looks of it there, that person has got 2 sisters. So that would be deux sœurs. Don't forget the S on the end. Okay, take your answers then. Okay, so the next task that we're going to do is a texting story. I would like you to watch the texting story as it happens, and then you need to answer the questions on the right hand side. There are 5 questions and I'd like you to answer them in English, please. And once you've done that, if you feel like you've got a bit of spare time, you can then find the French for the 2 little phrases there. You've got that's a lot and see you soon. Okay, so we're going to watch this video. I'll play it for you twice. So you've seen it all the way through now. Let's watch it one more time. Alright then, so the first answer has sneakily appeared already. Let's look at the rest of the questions then. So I'll go through that first one. What question does Ben ask Elise? It's actually, how are you, right at the start. And then how is Ben feeling? So Elise answers, and then what does Ben say? How does Ben say he feels? He actually says he's feeling pas mal, not bad. How many siblings does Elise have? She has 4. She's got 3 sisters and a half brother. What are their names? Their names are Olivia, Delphine, Sophie and Luc. And how old is Ben's brother? You can actually see it on the screen there. Il a 13 ans. He's 13. And then it actually says on the screen, aujourd'hui c'est son anniversaire. Aujourd'hui is today. C'est son anniversaire. It is his birthday. So it's his birthday on that day. And if you look then, we've got the extra bits of work there. So that's a lot. It's actually c'est beaucoup, which you would have seen earlier on. It's not on the screen right now, unfortunately. But see you soon is on the screen, and it's what they say at the very end. So à bientôt. Okay, so that's how you would say see you soon. Oh. This is our last task then for this lesson, and it's on page 33 in your booklet. You need to describe your brothers and sisters. And if you could draw a picture on the left-hand side, that would be great. It doesn't need to be a work of art. If you don't have any siblings, that's fine. There's a few things you can do. You can either make up some siblings, or you could talk about your cousins instead, or your aunts and uncles instead. That's absolutely fine. We're just looking for you really to be practicing how you say somebody is called or people are called, okay? And so you've got words on the left-hand side there underneath to help you, but you can also look back through your booklet to help you with what to write here. At the start it says, bonjour, je m'appelle. So je m'appelle, we know my name is, so write your name after that. And then on the next 2 lines then, you need to write how many brothers and sisters you've got. So you could say, for example, j'ai un frère et 2 sœurs, okay? And then you would need to say what your brother's name is. So you could say mon frère, my brother, s'appelle, and is called, and then his name. And then if you want to talk about both of your sisters at the same time, you could say mes sœurs, my sisters, s'appellent, are called, but you'll need to make sure that you've got the right version there. So if you look at the screen, it's just at the bottom version there, because you're talking about more than one person. And then their names, okay? So there is also some practice back in this video. So if you want to just have a little look back at how these sentences should look, that might also be a good idea. Okay, merci.